Peace and love, creatives. It's Sketchbox time, and we're gonna just jump right into it and start unboxing everything. First thing I take out is a watercolor palette, which is crazy. And it looks really cool, very interesting. Second thing I take out is one of those Hanamulle zigzag sketchbooks, a signature long round brush, which is a size 4, and a Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2 water soluble crayon. I was going to open up the watercolor palette first, but I figured that I would save it for last, especially when I started looking at all the colors and everything. I'm like, let's save that for last. And we're just gonna take everything out and look at the water brush. And the Hanamulle watercolor sketchbook is 300 GSM. There's 18 sheets in it, and it's exactly what it sounds like, a zigzag book. So the pages are kind of like folded instead of like bound by anything. They're just folded and glued into this hardcovered book. It's a really fun way to take a journaling style week, month, kind of like you can take this book and journal, cut it down into days, or maybe take it on vacation. It's a fun book to play with. I did play in the book when I showcased the watercolors and everything, but I do think I'm going to take this with me when I go on my vacation, which is coming up soon. And I'm excited to play with it, but sometimes I take these kinds of books with me and I end up feeling so much pressure about what I'm putting in it, or like, I don't know. I just end up putting so much pressure on myself that I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to use my regular old sketchbook and save this for something special. And then I don't use it for anything. So I showed you what the artist of the winner of the monthly contest was. I also showed like what was in our leaflet that we got from Sketchbox, and now I'm just taking off the sticker from each watercolor pan. Now these pans are a little bit thicker in my opinion than usual. I haven't put them next to any regular sized half pans, but they seem like they're a little bit chunkier, and they put these pans in like sideways. I put them in regular and they actually fit nice and snug, so when you're going in there with your paintbrush, they're not going to move around at all, which I appreciate. I left the color order that it came in for the swatch, for the initial swatch, because that's just how I took the stickers off of the pans, and then I pasted them in. I just didn't want to get them all confused before I wrote the names down. But I end up changing the colors into like a different order because I felt like I wanted the yellow ochre with the orange and the yellow and the reds and all that. And I felt like the blues, like the Payne's gray, and I think it's the Berlin blue, I felt like they should have been on the other side of things. So here I am right now just changing the order of it, just for my peace of mind, the way I feel like I'm going to be using these colors. This makes more sense to me. So that's why I did it. And then one of the reds, the color was lipstick red. And I was like, you know what? Let's draw some lipstick. And that's what we're doing right now. So I sketched out the lipstick using the Neocolor 2 crayon. Now this kind of like, I don't know, I felt like I like the idea of using the watercolor crayon as a tool to sketch, but maybe I went a little too heavy with the initial like lay down, and it kind of muddied some of my colors, which was basically my fault and not the fault of the supply. Now here I'm also realizing that these watercolors are very easy to re-wet. Like, you do not need to prep them and put water on them. They re-wet so well that you definitely want to take some up and put it on just the palette on the side and water it down before you start painting with that, because it's definitely a nice gouache consistency. It's not a bad thing. It's just, if you're going to use this watercolor, it's definitely more on the thicker side than the thinner side. So you can absolutely use it like a gouache, but you can also use it like a watercolor. And I think that's pretty cool. And if you're wondering what gouache is, if it's a new term for you, gouache is basically like a really opaque watercolor that you can water down and use as watercolor. So I hope that made that made sense. So here is what I'm talking about with the yellow that came with this color. I believe it was with this, a canary yellow. And with this watercolor set, it was yet a canary yellow, and it muddied up because of the gray of the crayon. And it didn't ruin my sketch. I just think it adds to the sketch of it, basically. So I had fun with it, and it's just something that if you're gonna do a sketch underneath, you should be aware of that it's going to run and mix with the other colors that you had. Now, in my reference, there was kind of like a shadow of the lipstick, which I tried to do with the Neo color, and I went too heavy initially with it, and I had to blot it, and it's okay. It's a sketch. And then because I did the lipstick, I was like, oh, let's make some lips, because I was just having a lot of fun using not only the sketchbook but the watercolors on the sketchbook. And I just decided to just draw a random set of lips, because why not? You got lipstick, let's put some lips on it. And I really do like the colors that came in this set. I feel like they're not your typical colors. I didn't even mention all of the colors. Let me mention them now. You got canary yellow, pumpkin, lipstick red, beet red, Payne's gray, Berlin blue, Caribbean blue, eggplant, imperial purple, emerald red, yellow ochre, and chestnut brown. So you have a lot of colors that you don't usually get in your traditional first try kind of watercolor sets, like a beginner set. And I think that's fun, because it leads you to have this nice, cool new watercolor set and not worry about having duplicates, in a sense. And you can still have a good time, and you can still mix with these colors as well. So I'm enjoying it. I also do want to take a minute to just talk about how cute that palette is. The color of it is just adorable. I actually took the sticker, the Sketchbox sticker, and stuck it onto the palette because, you have to. It's just something you have to do. I love the zigzag book. I think it was a nice, it was definitely a nice combination with the watercolors. And I'm looking forward to taking this with me on my vacation and hopefully using it and not just being scared of it. I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, here's the way the paints looked after I was done using them. They definitely get goopy. Peace and love.